Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Torryn and I'm about to set up my April bullet journal setup. So you're here to see it. It's Australia, it's themed Australia for April. Thank you to those who commented and let me know what you wanted to see for which place to do. I'm very excited because it is my home country, so I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get on with it. Okay, so we're just starting with a flick through of my last month's setup. So the March was Mexican themed. Just giving you a quick idea of what I did there. If you haven't watched that video, I'll leave a link in the description box down below. So there was a few new spreads in this month that I found really useful for the one that I wanted to do now, which is April. So and I also changed to a rolling weekly, which I loved. I was going to tell you if I liked it or not, whether I found it productive, and I definitely did. So recommend using a rolling weekly. I'll show you how to do it in this video. Now I'm starting, I thought I would do a typical girl from Australia, which is your beach girl with, you know, a nice Australian flag swimsuit, which you can get every Australia Day. So I thought I would go for a famous girl, and I tried using a picture of Margot Robbie to work from, and it doesn't really look like Margot Robbie in the end, but I used her as reference, so it was really good because the position was perfect and just the way she looks is definitely true Australian style. So I've used her as a reference, and I'm just using a separate piece of paper, which is marker paper and Copic markers. Sorry, not Copic, Ohuhu markers, the cheaper version of Copic, which are really good. I like them a lot. I've got heaps of videos on them. I'll link one down below if you're interested in seeing how I use those. So I've just done, this drawing, and then I thought I would stick it over the top of an Australia map. So I'm just mapping that out now. And writing the word April. And then filling in the inside of the map with a beach kind of graphic. I'm using some Carbothello pencils, which are like a pastel. They're in a pencil. I used to use them heaps at uni, but I haven't used them in ages, and they worked really well for this kind of effect. I just wanted that nice chalky pastel beach style. And I just use a tissue to rub it in and get it all soft as I can. And then I'm just using hairspray to fix this. Hairspray is a cheaper option than going for your proper fixative. And this just stops the pastel rubbing onto other pages and things like that. So I did that, and now I'm sticking in my girl. I'm not going to call her Margot because she really doesn't look like her in the face. But yeah, you get the idea. And then I did a cute little thing down the bottom. As you can see, Tasmania is an upside down A, which I thought was quite cute. And now I'm cutting around it to do the Dutch door, which I'm still loving. And then just creating a little mini calendar down in the bottom right-hand side, which is what I have been doing for quite a few months now. And it's just a good quick guide of what day of the week is it, what date, things like that. Now moving on to my calendar spread with the word April to start it. And I just kept it really minimal this time. I only did lines horizontally instead of vertically as well. I just think that helped not clutter it up as much. I kind of wanted to be as minimal as possible with this spread, but I did think it looked a bit plain, so I've added a little surfboard icon and some stars. Now, sorry to confuse you here, but I'm going back to the front page. Something about it was like too much space for me, so I felt like I needed to add something else. So I thought I would use like an Aboriginal inspired kind of dot effect happening in the background. I'm using lines and dots in yellow and blue to give a bit of pop of colour, and also reference, you know, currents. We are an island, biggest island. So I thought I'd use those to give it a little bit more impact. And I think that really helped. So it makes the cover pop a little bit more, I think. Let me know what you think. And now just showing you how I went back to the calendar now that I was more happy with the final result of the front page. So I've moved over and I'm just colouring in the surfboard and adding a little shadow around the text, making that pop a bit better. So really I was trying to go minimal, and then I just can't. I always think of myself as a minimalist, and I like space and simplicity, Then when I actually do it, I get, it's like I feel like it's unfinished, so I need to do more. So I ended up adding a lot of colour when I'd actually told myself I want to be just using like one colour and be very, very minimal. So it didn't work out quite that way, but I'm happy with the colour. Maybe I'm just a colourful person, who knows. So now moving on to the next page. Now we're all aware of what's going on in the world right now. It's very scary times, and I've had my fair share of anxious days to do with it all. Some colour to this page using coloured pencil and a little bit of those Ohuhu text. No, not Ohuhu. I'm using water-based. Yeah, I'm using water-based Ohuhu markers here, but the ones I did the girl with were alcohol-based. I don't know if I mentioned that. They were alcohol markers, so they're much funner to use, but they soak through like crazy. So yeah, water-based in the book, alcohol on the proper marker paper. To the meal planner. This is probably my favourite page, I'd say. This is true Aussie. You got a beer, you got a pie and sauce, you got Vegemite and prawns, or well, you got, the world seems to think we call them shrimp on the Barbie, but we don't really say shrimp. Shrimp to us is those tiny little prawns. These are prawns on the Barbie, which is a barbecue. So yeah, so I thought I would use all the typically Aussie snacks and drinks and fill the meal planner spread with that. I think it turned out really nice and I'm happy with that. I also tried to keep that minimal at the beginning, but needed to add colour. It was too bland. Now I did this also in Aboriginal art themed kind of style, which is using a lot of dots to create the pictures. So I thought I'd do a big snake, Australia, known for the snakes, and the Sydney Opera House with some kind of watery effects. Now that page is for where I basically I dump all the information throughout the month where it doesn't have a particular spot to go. So I use that page as basically like just an area where I can put anything excess that's in the brain and I just want to get it out onto paper. So that was the mind map, and now we're moving on to the Goodliness page. So here this is where I track all my habits, all my good habits, my goodliness, like drinking water and health, and if I've exercised that day, if I've read, all those things I want to focus on. And so here I did a drawing of a koala, up a eucalyptus tree, and then lots of eucalyptus leaves and the beautiful yellow flowers, which you'll see me colour in soon. Now this spread I also wanted to keep minimal, but I think I ended up adding colour, so we'll see how that goes. Originally I just wanted just like a light grey. I got a new marker the other day, a Faber-Castell, this one here, a Faber-Castell warm grey, and it's really cool to do shadows with because it's very subtle. But once again I got to the end of the page and I was like, oh, need some colour, feels so bland. So I add the yellow flowers, which is just nice for that pop of colour. Matches my nail polish exactly, which is nice. Unintentional, but cool. And now we're moving on to the top bit. I thought I'd add some green. Green and gold, Australian colours, totally relevant, was needed. And I'm quite happy with this spread, and it's going to be really useful. And I used this kind of tracker last month in March, where I just did dots across the full spread, and I definitely stuck to it more than the previous one, which is when I had like a spirograph kind of spiral situation happening, and it was really hard to fill in which dots. So I scrapped that one. I did these dots again, and I was really happy with how that kept me going. And now we're on to the weekly agenda, which is basically my rolling weekly for each week of April. So first week of April is a kangaroo, and I'm just doing that in the same pen that I use all throughout this, which is a uni pen fine liner. And then I'm just adding in little tiny bits of detail, like little flecks here and there. And I was going to leave it plain, but you know what, I added colour. But I'm really happy with it. That's Ayers Rock in the background, if you're not aware. And this is your typical Australian scene, Australiana, the red desert, the Ayers Rock, the sign saying kangaroos. Sorry if you can hear the crying out there. And adding some bush life is always nice for an Australian theme. And yeah, like I said, I really found the rolling weekly helpful last month, so I'm going to do that again this month. And so just a general flick through, we've got the cover page and the calendar spread. And we've got the nice quote to remind us in hard times that we can't live in fear, we've just got to do our best to be safe and cautious, but still enjoy ourselves. And we've got the meal planner and the mind map. And then we've got the Goodliness tracker, and then the weekly spread. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you to join the club. I give out a new video every week, every Sunday, and I really appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, have a great April, stay safe, I'll see you soon, bye.